What if the real truth about California's shuttered stretch of Highway 39 lies not in mud and rock, but in something even more alien? Californians have been saying that there are natural causes for this highway, but rumors have started to reveal a massive UFO, which might have crash-landed there. But it doesn't stop there.
Like a live actual, like, animal or some shit. What the fuck is that thing?
It's just hovering in place.
California has the top spots, causing many to wonder, is it just a conspiracy? California highway shut down. California's State Route 39 has been closed for over 4 decades, and this has caused some rumors that something is off. The northernmost stretch of SR 39, a 4.4-mile section north of Crystal Lake in the San Gabriel Mountains, was effectively closed in 1978 when massive mudslides and rockfalls damaged the roadway beyond safe use. What began as a catastrophic slide quickly became a recurring nightmare for maintenance crews, with erosion, flooding, forest fires, and continual rockfall, creating a nearly impossible environment for keeping the road open. Over time, the closed segment became a symbolic road to nowhere, wedged between steep cliffs and unstable slopes, with boulders often tumbling onto the roadbed. Even after years of partial repairs, such as clearing drainage, patching culverts, or erecting barriers, the area remained too volatile for safe public traffic. Caltrans has repeatedly brought up plans to reopen the California highway. In 2003, the closed stretch was briefly opened to emergency vehicles after a study suggested that the environmental impacts might be manageable. Then, in 2009, a proposal estimated $32 million to restore the road, but that plan was canceled in 2011 due to ballooning costs and environmental objections, especially concerns over the habitat of Nelson's bighorn sheep, a protected species that roams the area. But with the strange activities on the highway, there are many rumors that say that the real reason SR 39 was shut down wasn't just the terrain, but it was what landed there. Some claim that in the winter of 1978, residents near Crystal Lake saw a massive glowing craft descend silently into the mountains. Afterwards, there were violent landslides and rockfalls that tore into the region, sealing off the area. Ever since, the story goes, all attempts to reopen the road have mysteriously failed. Equipment malfunctions, sudden washouts, and unexplained structural collapses have plagued every repair effort. Some also say that the government is covering up the strange UFO activity with the excuses of natural disasters. But SR 39 remains closed and shrouded in mystery. Still, California remains the busiest UFO spot in the USA right now, as there have been shocking sightings in Palmdale and Lancaster, making California's skies even busier. UFO sightings in Palmdale and Lancaster.
What is happening right now? Where are they going? It's landing. Yeah.
Unusual videos captures lights in the sky over the California desert during a sharp increase of UFO reports.
The night sky over Palmdale and Lancaster, California, turned electric when local residents started posting videos of bright lights zigzagging across the skies in a weird formation. There were many witnesses who recorded this strange phenomenon, and it quickly spread on social media. One backyard witness claimed that a light streaked east, came to a dead stop, and then abruptly changed course and darted north. There was no engine hum, no wings, and it was nothing like he had ever seen before. Because the region is pretty close to Edwards Air Force Base, many thought at first that the sightings were experimental military flights. But the way these objects moved, hopping midair, reversing direction, disappearing and then appearing, is something completely different from even the stealthiest jets. With the strange lights zigzagging across the skies, many people remembered the long history of black triangle UFO-type reports in the Antelope Valley area, where advanced aerospace and secret aircraft development have always been whispered about. In this latest wave, reports came in of 6 saucers performing synchronized aerial ballet. and in many cases, the lights acted more like thought than machine, hovering, splitting, and chasing each other across the night sky. Of course, some people can't believe it, and they say it might be drones, light shows, or other terrestrial tech, and some even say it was just a performance. But there was no proof tying these UFO sightings to anything of this world. To make matters worse, it seems like the California highway shutdown is related to a massive UFO mothership, which also landed in Atlanta. UFO mothership. Atlanta is not as busy as California when it comes to UFO sightings, but its residents were left stunned when multiple drivers reported seeing what appeared to be a massive UFO mothership hovering above the city, partially obscured by clouds. Videos quickly surfaced on social media after there was a large, faintly glowing structure suspended in the night sky over Interstate 75. In several clips, the object appears to be stuck in place, with subtle, flickering lights along its edges. It was unlike anything many people had ever seen. As the footage spread across social media, many people discovered even stranger things. That's when they saw something weird on the mothership, with unusual geometric patterns and strange symbols etched across the underside of the craft. This has caused a lot of speculation that they were ancient runes or an alien language. Of course, some people remain divided. Some skeptics are saying that the video might be a high-quality CGI fabrication or simply an atmospheric reflection from city lights. But the clear view of the mothership above the highway and the zooming into the strange runes and language were a sign that this was something even bigger than what they could imagine. Now, Atlanta residents are buzzing with speculation, and so are those in California, especially since their UFO activity continues to grow. Experts are paying attention to the UFO sighting in 29 Palms that recently happened in this state. 29 Palms, UFO California, is seeing even more UFO sightings, with a recent one happening in 29 Palms. There were dozens of U.S. Marines stationed at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, where many witnesses saw something extraordinary. There was a large, silent triangular craft adorned with 5 glowing red lights, hanging motionless in the sky. The object looked immense, with some saying it was as big as a stealth bomber, while others even said it could be a 2-story house. It hovered for about 10 minutes before it completely vanished. This wasn't the word of a single Marine. In fact, over 50 witnesses said that they saw this UFO. Some took videos and photos, others remember illumination flares being fired, and they try and expose what was happening in the darkness. Yet the strange craft remained silent, although it was imposing. To make things even more suspicious, about 4 years later, in April 2025, another event happened near 29 Palms. A lone witness staying in a cabin in the desert reported seeing a brightly lit hexagonal object appear overhead. Like many UFOs, the object moved erratically for about 15 minutes, with light shining from the edges. It changed shape from a hexagon to a circle, and then it slowly faded from view. The witness even said that the glow outshined a full moon, and it couldn't have been anything else like a drone or aircraft. But that wasn't all. A strange UFO was discovered, also in California, and has brought up more questions about what's really happening in this state. Drone footage, Porterville, California. Drone footage from Porterville, California has stirred fresh intrigue in UFO circles. In December 2023, a drone operator testing his new DJI Mavic 3 Pro reportedly captured a hovering black metallic sphere that behaved in ways that aren't expected from any known aircraft. The object moved deliberately, gliding smoothly, and then vanishing abruptly. But it was even stranger because there was no engine noise, no wings, and no obvious explanation for this UFO. The clip quickly spread among UFO and UAP communities online. Some viewers noticed the odd green-yellow glow on one side of the sphere, and so they thought it might have radar-resistant coating or be a part of classified military projects. But others pointed out the strange movement pattern and its near-cloaking disappearance. That's something that only terrestrial tech could have, and not a man-made aircraft. With the California highway remaining shut down due to UFOs and the number of UFOs increasing in the state, it's hard not to remember one of the shocking sightings, the Tic Tac UFO. Tic Tac UFO. Have you ever heard of the Tic Tac UFO? It sounds like it came out of science fiction, but it's very real in California and one of the state's strangest UFOs. In November 2004, off the coast of Southern California, Navy pilots from the USS Nimitz were diverted to investigate radar anomalies. What they discovered was a smooth, white, wingless, cigar-shaped object that hovered near the ocean surface, and it performed movements that no standard aircraft could match. Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich stared at it for minutes. Fravor took a closer pass and watched it mirror his maneuver, then accelerate so fast that it disappeared. There were no control surfaces, no exhaust, and no obvious propulsion. The object not only defied aerodynamics, but also challenged belief. What made the story even weirder was the fact that the UFO was detected by radar, and another pilot, Chad Underwood, recorded thermal flyer footage of it, labeling the target Tic Tac for its appearance. The sighting later became central, and it was one of the main pieces of evidence to show that there was actually extraterrestrial activity in California. But years before this strong evidence emerged in California, there was another sighting, making the Golden State a busy place for alien activity. 1964. Big Sur UFO. The 1964 Big Sur UFO incident remains one of the most intriguing and hotly debated events in UFO lore. In September 1964, a team from the U.S. Air Force's 1369 Photo-Optical Squadron, led by Lieutenant Robert Jacobs, was deployed near Big Sur, California, to film Atlas missile launches out of Vandenberg Air Force Base. Their setup was pretty complicated. They were using optical equipment, which included a Boston University telescope paired with an image orthicon video system. This allowed them to capture low-light, distant events that most cameras of the time couldn't. According to Jacobs and the other people involved, during one launch the missile, its re-entry vehicle, and even dummy warheads and decoys were clearly seen. But what made this case pretty legendary is what they also saw. There was a saucer-shaped object that maneuvered around the warhead mid-flight, emitting flashes of light. After this happened, the warhead malfunctioned afterwards. After the event, Jacob said that he was ordered to report to his commanding officer, Major Mansman. He also showed him the film, and then he was told to keep quiet about what they had recorded. This caused the secret of the UFO to be kept for many years. But some skeptics also say that these saucers were actually decoys released during the missile test to confuse tracking systems. There's another UFO sighting that has attracted a lot of attention in California, like the black triangles that seem to have a lot of secrets. Black Triangle UFO. In the dark desert skies of Southern California, especially around Antelope Valley, Plant 42, and Edwards Air Force Base, there have been many sightings of large, silent triangular craft. These are almost always reported at night. Imagine a massive black triangle gliding slowly, without the roar of jet engines, punctuated only by dim or pulsating lights underneath each corner. Sometimes the lights are red, sometimes white, sometimes they flicker. UFO watchers and enthusiasts are saying that this is more than just hallucinations. In fact, some say that they are Black Project military crafts, which are secret prototypes built under classified programs that test stealth, unconventional propulsion, or next-gen surveillance tech. Others are also suspecting that the Black Triangle might just be a UFO. For them, the smooth, near-silent flight behavior, strange maneuvering under the cover of darkness, and the disregard for standard aircraft routing are something that's way beyond human technology or standard aviation. Between the shadowy silhouettes and the covert proximity to military test range airspace, it's no wonder people believe there's more going on than meets the eye. With California buzzing with UFO activity, especially after a massive UFO landed, which caused California's highway to shut down, there are many questions about the strange happenings in the Golden State and other places. Metallic spheres, UFOs. There are recent reports from New Jersey that there are strange glowing orbs and spherical objects in the sky, which are hovering, changing color, and disappearing suddenly. In fact, an Air Force veteran shared a video of a golden orb floating over South Jersey. He claimed that the video had no drone or airplane. In fact, the strange UFO was moving slowly, reversing, and then vanishing. They looked like metallic spheres in the sky with reflective or glowing surfaces. They were also behaving pretty intelligently, like tracking and stopping abruptly. International anomalies. To make things worse, there have been international anomalies in the skies, and this has brought the attention that something might be wrong and approaching California. One of these anomalies was the Hessdalen lights in Norway, or Northern Europe, and they have always been a case of unusual lights moving, hovering, and appearing both in the sky and below the horizon. There have also been many concerns about his safety. Frequent reports have revealed that civilians have actually seen a lot of UFOs, like triangular crafts, disks, and hovering objects. In California, they usually see the UFOs in quiet, rural, or remote areas. Military UFOs and secrets. Shockingly, there are reports that tie military personnel to the UAP sightings in California and other states. In fact, there have been claims of multiple hovering objects near Kentucky that emit intense, lightning-like flashes. Witnesses on highways have described triangular TR-3B style craft appearing low in the sky, scanning terrain below with pulses of light before suddenly accelerating upward at impossible speeds. Those who captured this footage say that the object hovers for minutes, lighting up the cloud layers, and then vanishes in a burst of brightness. Meanwhile, during the Cold War, it's alleged that the former USSR engaged in UFO crash recoveries and reverse engineering. Declassified KGB documents supposedly reference a silver disk crash at Lake Balkash in 1963, with retrieval teams transporting wreckage to secret subterranean facilities like Slepnogorsk. Researchers claim these efforts included analyzing exotic alloys, test flights of components, and attempts to replicate anomalous propulsion methods. Aerial formations and orbs. In New Jersey alone, there were multiple witnesses who described orbs flying in formation. In recent weeks, many sightings of what seemed like drone-size orbs in clusters or geometric patterns have been reported. Videos show them hovering, shifting formation, and sometimes disappearing when approached. Such synchronized movement, without visible propulsion noise, supports the orbital or formation-type phenomenon. This pattern tends to stir speculation. Are these surveillance craft, advanced tech, or something out of this world? Classic saucers and hybrid shapes. Shockingly, there have also been reports of classic saucer UFOs, which have been spotted in California and other states. Some modern videos have recorded disc or oval-shaped objects near the aircraft, or shapes that defy standard aerodynamics. Some civilians in California have captured what's actually a flying saucer. These metals are usually smooth and with perfect symmetry. Some people have even spotted saucers with multiple shapes, like saucers, wigs, and light patterns. Portals and government silence. In recent years, there have been declassified reports, pilot testimony, and fringe stories that revealed that there were actually portals, metallic discs, and unexplained sightings. One of the better documented cases involves a metallic disc observed by Navy pilots near a mountain range. The disc reportedly hovered, scanned the terrain below, then abruptly shot upwards. According to sources, the event was classified immediately, and little information was released to the public. Some suspect this craft was engaging in reconnaissance or testing advanced propulsion methods, but official records are nearly silent. Even in Russia, there are sightings of objects through a glowing circle. Surprisingly, this might just be a portal in the sky over Russia. Anyone that can claim the unidentified object can travel through the portal. emerging from a higher altitude or another dimension, but these reports are still kept a secret. Meanwhile, reports from San Antonio describe green hovering lights, lights that lingered, moved erratically, and then vanished without a trace. Local residents claim there was no media coverage or official response, fueling suspicion that either these sightings are being ignored or intentionally suppressed. There are also fleet sightings in California and other states, especially with the high UFO activity. But the California highway remains shut down to the public as a massive UFO landed, and many are still asking the question of why there are so many UFOs in California. High UFO activity. In California, California has quietly become ground zero for unusually high UFO activity, and the stories floating around are as varied as they are strange. According to the National UFO Reporting Center, California has the most reported sightings in the U.S. as of early 2025, with more than 16,500 reports logged. Residents all over the Golden State, from Palmdale and Lancaster in the high desert to coastal towns and remote deserts, are witnessing odd lights, formations, strange shapes, and objects doing things no known human craft should be able to. Part of what makes California's situation especially fascinating is the huge overlap between aerospace history, military bases, and remote terrain with dark skies. Between stars, rockets, satellites, and classified projects, there are a lot of possible explanations, and yet many of these sightings defy all of them. Some are clearly misidentified satellites or launches, but many others remain stubbornly unexplained. For Californians watching the sky at night, every strange flicker and every unexpected motion feels like a clue. Whether these are advanced experimental crafts, optical anomalies, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. The UFO mystery has California firmly in its grip. California's highway is shut down as a massive UFO just landed in the state. But what they didn't realize is that UFOs keep on coming in California. What do you think is the cause of the many UFOs sighted in the state? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.